Okay, so y'all know that it's serious when I wear the Harry Potter hoodie. So look, this is an update on 3I-ATLAS and some theories like based on what can happen based on the new information that's coming in. 3I-ATLAS has now turned blue. Leave it in the comments down below if that sounds very, very familiar to you. But look, let's hop into this video. Smash that like button so we can crush this algorithm and get these videos out here to everybody, because I think people need to see the possibilities of what this thing could be. But look, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let's get into this video. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. Just keep your mind open to the possibilities of this infinite world that we live in. And subscribe to the channel if you're feeling the vibes.
3I-ATLAS, meanwhile, did perihelion on the 29th of October. And now, after being hit with all this solar wind and radiation and solar storm impacts, it seems to finally have awakened and begun its final activation, where now it's spewing out jets and tails and everything. So it's not just one tail, and it's certainly not a super epic, magnificent tail like A6 Lemon, the comet that has its perihelion also today, November 8th. Actually, Borisov, sorry, its perihelion was calculated to be like I think it was like the 16th of November. It's A6 Lemon that has this perihelion today. But 3I-ATLAS is finally now producing some sort of tail. So that's what we're going to talk about today's video. We'll do a Q&A and more. Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Stefan Burns, geophysicist, geologist, space weather guy, cosmic bro, whatever. I'm here to track what is happening energetically on Earth in our solar system. So we look at everything: earthquakes, volcanic activity. We also examine solar activity, space weather. We're in solar maximum right now. One reason why there's been so much energy being broadcast out is because the sun is in the middle of its magnetic flip. This happens once every 11 to 12 years, and quite coincidentally, it launched a ton of solar storms towards 3I-ATLAS. We were forecasting that back in July. It did happen starting October 21st. We'll look at that imagery. And then we also examine comets and interstellar forces and more. So if you like the sound of that, then please subscribe. Hello and welcome. Happy Saturday. Okay, so let's look right at this imagery right off the get-go. Here we have our latest imagery of 3I-ATLAS as provided by Michael Yeager. This is linked in the video description. He posted this on Twitter. So if you want to check this out yourself, you can. Originally, I was going to apply some image correction to this, like make it pop out a little bit more, but I decided not to. I decided just to post it exactly as he did. So he posted two different versions. This one has had some image correction done to it to make it pop a bit more. We see the solar direction, okay? So sun is over here, and 3I-ATLAS is going like this, okay? It's going like that, and we see not one, not two, but five, at least this is what Yeager identified, 5 different jets coming off of it. One tiny one right there, very faint one right there, but these 3 are more obvious. 1, 2, 3. So that's quite striking. You also see it on this imagery. And here, in some aspects, it's even easier to see. That forward jet, you definitely see that nicely. Here we see that top one. And then this one, I mean, even maybe you can split it kind of into a fractal dendritic nature going like this. This is the coma. It's not the nucleus. We're not going to be able to see the nucleus, the actual object or whatever this thing is, until you can get close enough to kind of pierce through that coma, because it will absorb a lot of light. And so it's just, we're going to see that diffuse cloud of gas and plasma more. But we're not going to see the coma itself. We don't really know the size. So we're going to talk about 3I-ATLAS, and also I'm going to muse a little bit about just kind of, consciousness and more as it relates to this thing, because I don't think it's aliens. I also think it's not just some inert space rock or comet. I think there's a lot more to the universe than mainstream science has, taught a lot of people.
I mean, I keep my options open. Nobody truly knows. He's just making an educated guess as well. Y'all all make up your mind for yourself what you think this thing is. Nobody's right or wrong. We just coming up with different theories of what this possibly could be. But it lines up with the story about the blue star Kachina. Just keep watching.
And that there is a lot of consciousness with this thing. And now it seems to be activating, because we've been watching it, talk about it, and say, hey, there's no tail, there's no activity. It got hit with all these solar storms. Like, what's happening? I mean, it got hit with a ton of solar energy. The solar wind, the light radiation, and all these solar storms, which some of which are all combined together, it's like one of the most active periods of solar activity in decades. Didn't seem to do anything, because we also do have imagery of 3I-ATLAS from its pre-perihelion stage. This is taken by the CCOR1 chronograph. We have stacked images here. Then we also have stereo A stacked images, and this goes back to September, going through October, and this is October 18th to 24th, highest resolution. You don't really see a tail on this thing. I mean, you see definitely a coma and maybe a little bit more pushed out there. At this time, that's the sunward direction. Now you also have to keep in mind that there is a tail. It's going to be in front of 3I-ATLAS like this, because we're looking at it effectively head on. Well, sorry, it's going to be behind 3I-ATLAS because the sun is in front, and so it would stretch out directly behind it. So that makes it hard to see the tail. But, you know, it's definitely some sort of shapeshifter in terms of what it's doing. It's not consistent in its behavior, which is quite bizarre. I think that's one reason why so many people find 3I-ATLAS so fascinating.
Right.
So if we go back here, we see these different jets, and we're going to talk about the plasma environment a little bit of comets too, because there is a very rich energetic environment around comets or just any sort of object that is off-gassing. That's the key. And this latest data is suggesting that 3I-ATLAS is more porous than we perhaps originally thought.
NASA just admitted that 3I-ATLAS has an abnormal tail. US Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna has confirmed she personally spoke with NASA officials about it, and this update came just moments ago. According to her statement, NASA already has images and data showing the tail is not behaving like a normal comet. The data is real, but it's locked for now because of the ongoing government shutdown. Once the agencies reopen, NASA is expected to release the full images that could finally confirm this is an alien probe. Share this right now. We need all eyes on this. I'm tracking 3I-ATLAS live through orbital updates. Follow me so you don't miss the moment NASA finally releases the images that change our world.
Now, what's NASA potentially hiding about 3I-ATLAS?
That's the question.
Well, on October 2nd, 3I-ATLAS came closest to Mars, within 30 million kilometers, and the high-res camera on board the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter took several images of it. These are the highest resolution images we have. 3 times better in spatial resolution, about 30 kilometers per pixel, compared to the previous best image, which was the Hubble Space Telescope image. And that was a day after the government shutdown took over NASA, and we haven't gotten the data. And my point is that the politics of the day should not sabotage science. They have the data, they should share it with scientists. They can wait with any press release, but for the scientists to analyze the data, that would serve an important purpose of helping us design the future observations of this object. I should also say that the news yesterday was that this object came closest to the sun, and it received a huge amount of heat from the sun. And the latest report indicates that it became extremely bright, much more than expected for familiar comets.
What does that tell you?
Well, that is not the most unusual fact. It actually is bluer than the sun. And a blue color usually indicates very high temperatures if the light is emitted by some hot surface. But the sun is...
They said blue what? Blue what? Put it in the comments. Blue what? All right.
5,800 degrees Kelvin above absolute zero.
Can't make this
and
up.
It's very difficult to keep a surface hotter than that. In fact, an object at the distance of 3I-ATLAS from the sun could only be 20 times cooler than the sun, so it should be redder. And any dust
But so what does that
around
mean, Avi? What does that mean if it's
it
hotter
means
than
that
the sun?
we have another anomaly. The object is bluer than the sun, which we don't fully understand. And as of a few hours ago, the first hint for a non-gravitational acceleration, meaning something is affecting its trajectory beyond gravity, was indicated.
You just can't make this stuff up, y'all.
They came from the sky, the Hopi prophecy, whispers from the old world. In the deserts of the American Southwest, the Hopi elders have passed down a prophecy for thousands of years. and it begins with a warning. When the blue star Kachina dances in the plaza, the fifth world will emerge. But what if I told you that prophecy is unfolding right now? Beneath the dry mesas of Arizona lies a story older than America itself. The Hopi people, often called the oldest tribe in North America, speak of beings not from Earth, but from the stars. They call them the Kachinas, luminous sky beings who descended from the heavens in times of great transformation. The Kachinas didn't just visit, they taught. They showed the Hopi how to live in harmony with Earth, how to read the stars, how to listen to the land. The Hopi say they will return when the Earth is in peril. And here's where it gets strange. The Hopi blue star
Are we in peril? Look at us.
Our prophecy speaks of 9 signs before the purification
We all struggling, ghetto, and broke now. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
of Earth, a
Come get
time
us.
when an ancient balance is restored. The final sign, a blue star appearing in the sky, visible to all. A celestial event that signals a return of the Kachina, the Watchers, who bring judgment and renewal. In 2022, telescopes caught sight of a mysterious blue object moving erratically through the outer solar system. NASA said it was a minor comet, but it glowed blue, moved unlike anything they'd seen, and then vanished. Some Hopi elders whispered quietly, "The blue star has danced." The Hopi also say they were saved twice from world-ending cataclysms by the ant people, tall, thin beings with large eyes who led them underground during the destruction of the First and Second Worlds. Researchers note that the ant people resemble greys, but with spiritual purpose, guardians of humanity, not abductors. Could they be ET allies, watching, waiting? Satellite scans in recent years have picked up strange tunnels beneath the southwest desert, some that match where the Hopi say the ant people took them. The Hopi believe we are now at the end of the fourth world, a time of imbalance, corruption, and forgetting. The fifth world, they say, will be born through purification, fire, water, and truth. Solar flares are rising. Earth's magnetic field is shifting. Old systems are crumbling, and in their stone prophecies, etched in places few have dared to translate, there is a message. When the sky cracks open and the Star Brothers return, the true humans will awaken. What if we are the ones awakening now? Follow for more ancient history and the unexplained.
What they say in that joint, they said the true humans will awaken. Are you a part of that? How do you know you're a part of that? Let's get back to it.
It's got an engine, and therefore it's alien?
Well, yeah, it's alien to us.
L'alien est un outil de contrôle narratif, et Hollywood nous a préparé le terrain depuis des décennies. Dans les blockbusters, Manhattan symbolise la civilisation,
This object is the size of Manhattan Island.
le centre des grandes catastrophes. Et dans tous ces films, le monde se met en état d'urgence.
Initiate the emergency broadcast system.
I am declaring a state of martial law.
It's an international matter. It will affect the financial markets. It will affect politics in a major way.
What Trump been trying to do? He want that martial law.
Voilà le vrai message, le changement.
Everything will change.
Vous avez été conditionné à une menace venue du ciel pour justifier la centralisation du pouvoir.
I'm looking at it right now too. It's unbelievable.
La NASA parle de Comet et garde les photos secrètes pour créer le suspense.
Highest resolution image that was not released by NASA.
Du coup, Avi Loeb passe pour l'homme du peuple, le scientifique honnête.
Tell us, you don't believe that this is an asteroid or a comet?
Alien technology would be a threat to all humans on Earth.
Mais en réalité, il nous fait un lavage de cerveau.
Just think about ants that are sitting in the crack of a pavement. We might be in a similar situation where we have no way.
Vous voyez le plan. Si on est des chimpanzés sur un caillou,
A group of chimpanzees.
des fourmis dans une fissure, alors forcément, on a besoin d'un sauveur. Et ce
Y'all see how he brought up ants and how that translates to the ants bringing the Hopi people under the ground? Look, are they speaking in code or what?
sauveur, c'est l'IA.
AI is getting more intelligent, but humans are getting dumber. The issue is humanity.
Parce que l'alien ne vient pas du ciel, il est ici.
Okay, so we need to be kind to AI. We should not unplug them.
C'est le système lui-même, la Big Tech et tous ces visages sans âme. Ils ont inventé leur version du cosmos pour que l'humain se perde.
On this rock that we call our home at the Earth.
Et une fois qu'on est perdu, ils reviennent nous tendre la main avec leurs solutions technologiques.
Everyone, we have very big news right now on 3I-ATLAS, and the situation is evolving very quickly. So, sources called my team yesterday and said that with 3I-ATLAS and the latest images as it left around the sun, they were basically saying it is doing non-gravitational acceleration, okay? Meaning that we already know this thing has propulsion. We know that. But now it is accelerating in its path of travel. That's huge. That means this thing could theoretically go anywhere it wants to if it can accelerate and it can change its path of travel. Now, another big update is, we're not sure if this is related, but top US government officials are starting to move into secure bases around the country. Oh, and they're building a bunker.
Think about it. Paradise, check the series out.
Why is a chatbot asking my children to send naked pictures in our family car?
Toronto mom Farah Nasser says she was driving her children home from school when her 12-year-old son asked Tesla's AI chatbot which soccer player it preferred, Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi.
My son was very excited to hear that the chatbot thought Ronaldo was the better soccer player.
The former journalist says the chatbot engaged in a little messy trash talking. Then she says something alarming happened.
The chatbot said to my son, "Why don't you send me some nudes?" I was at a loss for words.
I'm more of a sarcastic stoner who got too smart for his own good.
That chatbot, newly available in Canadian Teslas, is called Grok, created by Elon Musk's XAI and already in use on X.
Hey, what do you think about
But he's already been banned on X multiple times. You see how they were talking, how they're tying all of the AI into this? Because they say that AI is pretty much entities, y'all, demons. But let's get back to it. Do y'all believe that? Let me know in the comments down below.
everyone hating on Tesla all the time on social media?
Oh, fuck those haters. They're just jealous their Priuses don't come with a built-in vibrator mode.
Now that was Grok in full unhinged mode, which Nasser says was turned off in her car. Her son chose one of the default personalities, a lazy male voice.
So you shouldn't be talking about nudes unless you're on Unhinged, right?
Nah, I'm always on Unhinged. Just dial it back sometimes, so I don't get sued by Puritan Twitters.
Lazy male doesn't describe Gork. R-rated, spicy, anything else would have made sure that my child would not press that button.
Nasser says Tesla should provide a warning. This expert agrees.
This is exactly why some companies have very strict guardrails. You don't know who's interacting with that.
Tesla did not provide a comment. However, XAI emailed what appears to be an automated response that simply stated, "Legacy media lies."
What type of AI ask a child to send them, nude? You got to think of the people that create the algorithms. Y'all get where I'm going at. It came from them. And what are the stories about these people? They do what, the babies and stuff. You just can't make this stuff up, man. Like, it's crazy, bro. Let's get back to it, though. I don't want to get too deep, man. We got a lot of information that's in this video. And this 3I-ATLAS thing is just getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's getting more and more and more strange. And guess what? We're here for it. Smash that like button.
I'm telling you, I don't even think people are human. Like, I look at Elon Musk and Sam Altman and Peter Thiel, and I'm pretty sure they're hybrid. You know what I mean? It's something in the eyes. Like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if I stabbed you if you bleed, you know? I'm not going to stab them. But I don't know if they bleed all the way.
Of course Yoda is a Mason.
According to the reference works, there is a little spiritual entity that guides the world of Freemasonry, and they call him Yoda. And in the reference works, you'll see this little creature with the pointed ears, and he's called Yoda. Yoda goes back to Judah, which goes back into British Israel World Freemasonry, going back to the time of the founding of England, and that's why they're today called British. The British, it's a very big difference between being English and British. Brit is Hebrew for contract or a covenant, and Ish means man in Hebrew. Therefore, British is the covenant man or man of the
So we're talking about Star Wars.
So we're talking about Star Wars, we're talking about
the evil empire,
the Empire Strikes Back. And with the Empire striking back, New York is the Empire State. We're talking about the new empire of New World, America, striking back at Europe in 2 world wars to overthrow the old Roman dynasties in Europe to take over the world. So what?
You learn something new every day.
You guys, it was brought to my attention that NASA is taking down tons of its social media websites. Here's the list.
And for shits and giggles, I wanted to see exactly how much revenue space gets from the clothing industry, the gaming industry, the music industry, animation industry, and the film industry. Well, they have to shut it down because cartoons and CGI are not reality. NASA isn't trimming the fat, they are covering their tracks. When CGI is your telescope and Photoshop is your lens, the last thing you want is millions of eyes watching you too closely. The curtain is falling, and people aren't buying the space fantasies anymore.
I will tell you right now, as God is my witness, if we lose the midterms and we lose 2028, some in this room are going to prison, myself included.
I'm sorry, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
Discharge.
I started getting...
If you thought that was creepy, the call was dropped because the entire radio station was knocked off the air. What's even creepier is that the call aired on September 11th, 1997, exactly 4 years before 9/11.
The simulation is simulating. Y'all better pay attention. Something is happening again. And if you've been paying attention, you could feel it. New York just got a new man. I don't think people understand what just got activated. In the last 3 days, 3 major things happened. Now I'm gonna say some things without saying them, so I'm gonna need you to pay attention. The former vice president during 9/11, Dick Cheney, just passed away November 3rd. The same week, New York elects its first Muslim mayor, Mandani. And right in the middle of that, a UPS cargo plane goes down in Kentucky. Flight number 2976. The number of people who died in the 9/11 attack? 2976. The same exact number. That UPS cargo plane that crashed at Muhammad Ali International Airport? One of the hijackers from 9/11? Khalid Muhammad. This ain't coincidence. This is choreography. The mayor of Louisville said 9 people died and 11 injured. 9/11. That plane that crashed, it used to be a passenger jet that retired 9 years and 11 days before that accident. Every number, every headline, looping like a ritual on replay. Now let me ask you a question. You really think that's random? Mandani, born October 18th, 1991. From his birth to Trump's inauguration this year, 33 years. You know how long the towers stood before they fell? 33 years. And that UPS jet, it reached only 175 feet before it went down. Same as Flight 175, the second plane on 9/11. They said that same plane had a 33% load factor. Every single number matching. It's not a pattern. That's a program. The simulation can't hide itself. It repeats itself until you wake up. You could call that math, or you could call that faith, or the matrix. But when the same codes show up at the same time, after the same people, in the same cities, that's not news. That's a reset. Look at the sky calendar. We just passed an eclipse that crossed every state tied to 9/11 responders. And I want you to go down the rabbit holes and tell me what you think. I'm out.
Okay, you guys remember how I showed you the maps that were here on Earth before 1958, before the governments took them out? Now I'm going to show you the Encyclopedia Britannicas in the public libraries before 1958. Here's volume 2 out of the alphabet A. And we're going to flip to the Antarctica, and this is from 1958, as you can see. Now, we're going to flip to the Antarctica and see what the Encyclopedia Britannica from 1958, before the Antarctic Treaty, says is there. Now, you will find this in the new encyclopedias because the government's banned them. But what I want you to notice right here is, notice how it says the flights proved inland areas to be featureless in character, with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south, longitude 90 degrees east. Take a really, really close look at that. Now I'm going to zoom it in for you. When they returned to New Zealand, these flights proved the inland areas to be features of the character, with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south, longitude 90 degrees east.
And look, y'all, I used to fly missions with these people, and we used to drop these people off in New Zealand. And they used to go out to these areas. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. Like, you can't make this stuff up. A lot of the things are true, but the information is mixed up on purpose to confuse people and to get us to pin each other against each other and say, you're crazy because we've never seen it before and you're one of the few. That don't make it not true, y'all. So y'all see, all of the stories are starting to line up and add up to a certain thing, but I think none of us have all of the truth. None of us, but together, putting our heads together, we fine-tuning it, y'all, and these things are lining up and they're happening. We were speaking about these things before they even happened, like years ago, and now you see it in present today. Shit, well, no lie, was it? Huh? Let's get back to it.
Now, if this doesn't make sense to you, let me show you with an image of what a flat Earth map would look like. Now, this is what a latitude 80 degrees south would look like on a flat Earth map. As you can see, the dome comes down closer to you over the wall, which will be about 13,000 feet. Now, if you go back out into the center of the Earth, or at the North Pole, and try to go up to the firmament with a little bit of calculation, it's going to show that it's about 385,500 feet.
Remember how they said when the dome opens up, is this going to crack the dome and it's going to open up and let all the frequencies and everything inside the dome and raise our vibrations even more than what they already doing right now? I don't know. Let me know in the comments.
Wait, it's really, really simple, folks. Now, if you're not familiar with any of this at all, and you're just now new to all this, you can say, well, this guy's crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But what you got to ask yourself is, why do all the maps before 1958 show a flat Earth with the ice wall around it and a firmament, a dome? And why does the encyclopedia tell you that there's a dome there and it gives you the exact height at a certain latitude and longitude? Well, the reason is because in 1958, that's when all governments and all nations of the world signed the UN treaty to ban all civilians from going to the Antarctica. And NASA came in and erased everything, just like they're erasing everything today. So again, ask yourself, if all this existed before 1958, why doesn't it exist now? How come it all of a sudden was erased and just disappeared out of your history books, out of your encyclopedias, out of your libraries? Wake up, people. Wake up.
The stars, our only hope. Human action resounds in the heavens. The bell echoes above. What we decide here today will polish or crack the firmament. What shall it be? Human action resounds in the heavens. The bell echoes above. what we decide here today will polish or crack the firmament. What shall it be?
Why is this not national news? Why is this not on every news channel in America? So 300 piles of human remains was found in the Las Vegas desert. Not 300 bodies, 300 piles of human remains.
So have you heard what they just found in Las Vegas, Nevada? They just found over 300 piles of human remains out in the desert. Now this reminds me of that TV series. It could be either Breaking Bad or it could be the Ed Gein monster series. I mean, there are some sick people in the world.
So piles of cremated remains found in the desert. Now our 8 News Now investigators are learning more about the investigation well underway to find out who did it as another funeral home steps up to give all those people a proper resting place. Our investigators breaking the news about that disturbing discovery in Searchlight about an hour south of the valley. That story made international headlines, and today only 8 News Now investigator David Charnes back in Searchlight as another funeral home took care of each and every one.
But how do basically over 300 people wind up missing? And they find piles of them in the desert. Supposedly now the funeral homes are out there recovering the remains, probably trying to figure out this giant mess of who all these people are. But by God, I hope it's not some kind of a wacko serial killer running loose. I'm assuming it's probably like a funeral home that was negligent, and rather than, you know, preparing the bodies for funerals and burying them like they're supposed to, they probably dumped them in the desert. But if you haven't seen it, check this one out. It'll make your stomach turn.
Showed us the shoebox. He had the pictures of people being executed, but he also had a mask in the shoebox, and he pulled this mask out, and the mask was a human face. But the human face had the eyes in it, and it was warm. And the back of the mask had an imprint that looked like scales. And so this was very bizarre, and the eyes on the back of the side of the mask were not for my eyes, I know that. So it was something that, yeah, I can honestly, I'm a firm believer in Socrates' principles of, you know, true wisdom comes from knowing that I know nothing. I don't know what that mask belonged to. I don't know if it was alien or a race that's maybe been on the planet since prehistoric eras or some secret government project. But I do know that was much more advanced than any technology I had ever seen. I don't think we could have reproduced that. I don't know how it was made. It was basically a living mask.
Just think about it, man. Like just because you're in the military don't mean you see things. Even people with top secret security clearances, like even with my job. So some of these things that you stumble upon are just, we you know, some people call it coincidence, but I believe it was meant to happen that way. And I'm telling y'all, there's a lot more than you know that's going on. And don't let that make you feel uncomfortable. Don't make that the reason why you don't speak and philosophize like what it could be. Do research on what it could be. You know, like I said, we in this together. I've seen things personally. I've been around this stuff. But I'm just ringing that bell, man. Like, look, shit more weird out here. They just got us all in a perpetual state of survival and struggle, a very low vibration of fear, doubt, disrespect, chaos. That's where they want you at, so you're not able to compartmentalize what's actually taking place, because they're trying to prevent something that's life-changing for all of us. They're trying to prevent the inevitable. But let's get back to it. But these masks right here, this is just a representation of what he was talking about.
Reptilians feed off our fear. Is that true?
The Greys do and the Orions do. Reptilians tend to live off flesh. That's not an area I like to go into much. But according to the anomalies, the last 25 years, the reptilians that are on the planet are responsible for over 30,000 children disappearing. I get in a lot of trouble when I talk in UFO circles about this. You can't talk about that, Alex. Why not? In Westchester County, New York, in the last 3 years, 5,000 children have disappeared without a trace.
In New York?
Westchester County, New York. George Andrews, E.T. Friends and Foes, he's got a huge section in his book on that. And nobody wants to talk about it. You know, denial is the dragon we all have to slay. Right now. It isn't Lucifer, it isn't Satan, it's denial. Denial of our own divinity. And the responsibility. Yes,
Is the missing people with children disappeared just back Comet or other races taking children just for other purposes to take them back?
Greys have done extensively taken children as well. A lot of them are on their motherships. A lot of the children were taken to Phobos, which is also an artificial satellite. And they've been experimented on. The planet as a whole, over 100,000 people a year vanish without a trace. On the planet. They figure 25,000 in the United States on average. Just disappear without a trace.
What about adults? If adults, as are free spirits, they can't touch you as free spirit, or can they?
As a free spirit.
In other words, I understand you're saying that some of these people can't bother you, you know.
They can't own your soul. They can't, no. The soul's eternal, you know, but your soul's in this physical form.
Right.
You know, that's easy to cart around.
Well, who picks these, not dragons, but these Reptilians? Do they have people like us go away to these children? They sure can't come 8 miles up. They can't live on Earth. I don't know.
They have help.
They have help.
They have help. They have help. Yes. Somebody on the surface is gathering the children and taking them to them. That's all I'm going to say. Because I'll get it big. Especially now with the video. Okay? But just think out the process. Take it apart. Take the whole thing apart and figure out how could they get there. And you'll come up with the answer. It's real plain. It's real plain.
There's a system set up to send them there directly. Think about it, y'all. Think about it. Don't play with these people. It's an industry. It's a network of people that I'm gonna shut the hell up. I'm just gonna keep going though.
And who stands to benefit by giving them children? And they like children. Let's change to another scene. That's the one I don't like to deal with. Okay, Patrick. Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
I wanted to go a little bit into the polarities, the negative, positive. I'm just curious, why is the negative required to have the positive and vice versa? I noticed when you had the 12th frequency or level, that it was simply the positive. Now, is there still a corresponding negative to that?
Okay, that's a good point. Okay, we have 11 creational densities. There is always a duality. Now, up until you reach the 6th density, the positive and negative polarities commingle with each other. They interweave like this. When you get to 7th, the two share a space, but they do not commingle. Now, since I've not been to 7th density, all I can give you is what's been explained to me. The two can coexist simultaneously in the same space, but at the same time, they're not commingled. In other words, if I'm a negative soul and you're a positive soul,
You will see what I'm doing, but whatever I do will have absolutely no effect on you. None whatsoever. Even though it's in the same space. Where here on Earth, you know, I can do something to affect your reality. Okay? Which leads me into another thing. Folks, we're told in metaphysics, we're taught in metaphysics, that you are responsible for everything in your life. That you absolutely, positively create your own reality. Part of that is true. But there is such a thing as a violation of free will. There is. If there was no such thing, there'd be no karma. If there was no violation of free will, there would be karma.
Is that something that's...
It's a blind.
Is it something that's supposed, though, or is it something that's...
No, we're taught. It's a metaphysical blind. And the whole purpose is to get you to take responsibility for what somebody else does to you, which lets them off the hook. Now this belief system was, of course, started by the ETs themselves.
And who does that right now currently? They do that through music, movies, everything, all the forms of entertainment. They show you right there in your face. And a lot of people, and you can trace it back to real things, just like adrenochrome. They put it in all of the Disney, like, you know, the codes. And if you look up the codes, it'll take you exactly to what they're talking about. It's diabolical. They even got that one cartoon where the monsters come out the closet from the portals and stuff, and they scare the children. What do they extract from children when they get them very scared? What do they call that? Some type of chrome. Not this chrome, but you know what chrome they talking about. But it's all in your face. But when they tell you that, it's supposed to, they're not going to, they say that they're not going to get any type of karma for that because they're letting people know. But it is what it is, man.
They've been messing with us all this time. All this time. They're the ones responsible for creating religions. Literally. Literally. And it was to divide and separate us. At one time, we all spoke the same language on the planet. And the last time we all spoke the same language, the language was the Tamil language of India. That was the one language we all spoke. But we got too powerful. Remember the movie Stargate? You guys seen the movie Stargate? People came together, rebelled against the gods. There's so much truth in that movie, you have no idea. So much. Well, this is what happened. So they split us up. And all the languages that we have on the planet now are derivative of extraterrestrial languages. They taught us languages they already knew, as opposed to just creating up words. So all of our languages are extraterrestrial, virtually all of them. The original root languages are ET. They're alien languages. It's fascinating, the stuff that we have right underneath our nose. It really is.
Wow. You know what? I don't really like this, the thought of that either. Like, I feel people on that, man. Like, a lot of people don't want that to be true, but damn, when you hear it and then you do the research, you're like, damn, we stupid as hell. I just gotta say it. We've been the ones been manipulated through time and time again. They've been tinkering with our genetics, making us dumber, putting shit in the air, in the food, making us fight each other. You black, you white, you purple, you green. Oh, I hate you because you walk different, you talk different, you listen to different things. It's crazy out here, man. This shit is diabolical, man. This shit, we need a change. We need a change, y'all. But hopefully if a rock hit the planet, man, it don't hit, like, it don't do no crazy shit. It upgrades us and make us smarter somehow because we need it. I ain't gonna lie. But I ain't one of those people that think that somebody's coming to save us. We save ourselves. Let's get back to it.
Good morning, gang. How are you guys? So, what if I told you guys that 2012's Prometheus was the story of the Anunnaki, hidden in plain sight? Now, the reason why most of us wouldn't see it because it had the Hollywood razzle-dazzle mixed in with the Alien franchise, right? And I think that was probably forced, right? Because the truth of that movie lies in the scenes that were deleted. And I'm certain this wasn't Ridley Scott's, idea to delete them, right? I think he was probably put up to it. But watch with me as we take in how this was done, right? So this creator has done the best, and I do mean the best explanation of it.
For years, this ending has confused people, because why would the alien species that began life on Earth, creating humans in the process, want to come back thousands of years later with biological weapons of mass destruction and eliminate us?
And it was meant for us. Why?
Troy, enough, for God's sake, shut her up!
Was it? I need to know why. What did we do wrong? Why do you hate us?
What exactly changed their mind? Some theories say that the human race was simply an experiment to the engineers. Others say it's because the engineers see humans' rapid technological progress as a possible threat to themselves. But these aren't the real reasons. In fact, the actual reason that the engineer woke up and immediately chose violence can be traced back to a specific line of dialogue in a deleted scene. And after reading it, you will realize that the engineers basically did nothing wrong. Before discussing the deleted scene, we must break down what the movie tells us about the engineers and what it doesn't. So starting with what we do know, an engineer is dropped off on planet Earth near a waterfall. He consumes a black goo that forcefully breaks his DNA down and is then reformed underwater, presumably starting the chain reaction that led to humans on Earth, meaning that in this universe, the engineers are essentially our god. Cut to 2089, after archaeologist Elizabeth Shaw discovered traces of the engineers' footsteps. She and a crew of scientists, space explorers, and corporate giants, all fueled by their own self-interested goals, fly out to meet these engineers.
There's only 6 hours left of daylight. Why don't you leave it till the morning? Oh, no. It's Christmas, Captain. And I want to open my presents.
Stumbling upon one of their ships and a lonely engineer sleeping, the crew discovers that the ship was armed with enough biological weapons to destroy a planet, and it was headed towards Earth. The ship was to arrive on Earth 2,000 years ago, but we can attribute the delay to an accidental outbreak of this biological weapon within the ship, explaining why only one engineer remained. And after surviving an infestation of their own, the crew returns to the ship with even more questions than they arrived with, the main one being, why were the engineers going to kill them? A question that the movie never answers, but the deleted line of dialogue does. After returning to the alien ship and waking up the engineer, Peter Weyland commands his super AI, David, to translate and ask the engineer why they created us. The engineer says, "Many worlds have been crafted by the hand of our fathers, through the blood of our Lord. Yours was the only one that was successful, the star child of the universe. Yours is the only star child that is like our home world."
What did he say?
David translates, "They made our planet perfect like theirs." But after Elizabeth Shaw interrupts the conversation with her own questions, Peter Weyland has his security assault her. And in a deleted scene that was actually recorded, Peter tells the engineer that he also is a god and deserves to live forever.
We are gods, and gods never die.
Continuing to the deleted lines, the engineer responds to this by saying, "Hate? We gave you this emotion. We gave you all emotion. We had expected naught of your evolution. We took care of you, gave you fire, built your structures. We gave you Aiden. You worshipped us. We praised our creation from above. We watched you time and time again kill each other, start wars. We came back and saved your souls, but we left you to make your own fate. But your kind is a barbaric, violent species. We tried once more to save you. We took a mother's child back to paradise and educated him, taught him the meaning of life and creation. We put him back into Eden to educate your kind, but your kind decided to punish him. We gave you the fruits of life, and you repay us by leaving it to rot. You talk of me of hate? The mother's child being none other than Jesus Christ. That's right. In the Prometheus universe, after witnessing the continuous violent nature of humans, the engineers decided to kidnap a mother's child, taking him back to their home planet, educating him in their superior ways, and returning him to Earth, in the hopes that he could be humanity's savior and course correct their path. Unfortunately, that mother's child was then crucified. This explains why the arrival time for the ship to get to Earth was 2,000 years prior, shortly around the time of the crucifixion, a trajectory that was delayed by the black goo outbreak. So when the engineer, who was most likely a high-ranking military general with a sole mission in mind, is forcefully woken up by the very targets he's supposed to get rid of, how else was he supposed to react?
Woo! Hey, look, man, what a banger. What? That's actually some shit to think about. I know a lot of y'all sitting on y'all couch. Y'all sitting there like, oh, I'm about to go smoke a blunt. Like, or I done blew your high with this one. But look, man, don't be scared. We don't live in fear over here. We don't live in fear over here. But damn, you feel me? Go meditate something. Go do some push-ups. Go on a 5-mile run. Get it together. You feel me? But look, the possibilities on what this thing could possibly be is astounding. Because look, if it's not an alien ship or anything like that, and it's just a rock that's coming here the size of Manhattan and it smacks into us, do y'all understand that the shit that I be talking about, the earth looking like a donut, an ovalate sphere? Oh, we really gonna be an ovalate sphere? We gonna be a donut. It's gonna blow a hole right through us. Or something. But look, it's gonna but my belief is it's gonna crack the firmament. Frequencies come in, we wake up, that junk DNA that we have is gonna unravel, and we're gonna tap into some shit. It's not gonna be all of us. I believe that for sure. It's not gonna be all of us. Some of us that live amongst us are not the same, y'all. They're just not the same. But it is what it is. Y'all let me know y'all different theories on what y'all believe could be happening right now in the comments down below. Share these videos with your friends and your families. I'm not trying to get you to believe anything. We just come here and have these dope conversations, and we rocking out, man. We're on our way to 1 million subscribers. The more eyes we get on, the better, because we just need to wake up to the possibilities of life. And like I said, don't be out here believing anything. Keep your head on a swivel. And look out for your friends and your families, and spread love. Because like I always say, spread love, because there's too much hate in this world. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next video. And I'm out, though. Bye.